Peace, everybody. Greetings. This video is about Illinois Governor J.P. J.B. Pritzker last Thursday announced that all college students must get vaccinated in order to attend school starting Monday, August the 30th. Now, if the students don't want to get vaccinated, they are subjected to weekly tests to make sure that they don't get vaccinated. Saliva tests. So if they don't want to get vaccinated because of whatever religious reasons, or if they want to get an exemption, they're subjected to weekly screenings. And Governor J.B. Pritzker is I think a second generation immigrant from Europe. His grandfather arrived to the United States with $6 in his pocket, and the United States of America made his family into billionaires due to real estate that was already here, due to resources that was already here. His family brought nothing to this country but themselves and an appetite, and now he's imposing European tyranny on the people of the United States. And it's not just J.B. Pritzker. It's also I'm not gonna say Lori Lightfoot, the city of Chicago's mayor. She's mandating that all city employees get vaccinated. You know, she's not extreme as New York and Los Angeles, which has a mandate for all the citizens or the residents, in order for them to go to certain sit-in restaurants or grocery stores, they must get vaccinated or have a vaccination card. You know, like the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation, when they say you won't be able to buy or trade without having that mark either on your right hand or your forehead. But the reason I'm making this video is because the media is trying to say that the reason coronavirus is spreading is because of the black population, and they want to save the black population from this disease, right? But since President Joe Biden became the president of the United States, another 500,000 people died from coronavirus. The numbers of deaths in the United States is 636,000. I'm going to show you the numbers in a second. And the majority of these people who are dying are so-called white people. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to show you the total death numbers. The total numbers of deaths in 1 second. And I'm going to break down the statistics, because they're using a metric saying that per 100,000, there's more black people who die per 100,000. But the total number of black people in the United States, based on the 2020 census, is, I think, 46 million. And a total of so-called white people is over 250 million. So they have more 100,000s by nearly 10 times than the so-called black people. Hold on, I'm gonna do the calculations also, but let me show you this. You see right here, total cases in the United States is 38.8 million. The total deaths is 637,000. Right. Total deaths. Texas got what? No, 637,000. California has the most deaths. Texas has the second most. New York has more than Florida. Illinois has 26,000 deaths. So they're going by the states and adding up all the deaths that happen in these states. And let me go to this. This is the total white population in 2019. 236 million. Yeah. And now this one says 250 million in 2019. So let's just say it's 250 million. And these, I'm gonna show you exactly who these white people are that they claim are white people also. I'm gonna show you that too. But I'm gonna show you that later. Right now, I'm gonna show you the total black population. And they say the total black population grew from 2000 to 2020. They say the current black population is 46.8 million who self-identify as black, making up roughly 14% of the country's population. This marks a 29% increase since 2000, when there were roughly 36.2 million black Americans. And these are people who self-identify. So these are probably African people, people from the islands, from the Middle East, who they claim that they are white. People who are from probably Russia, from Europe, South America. And then you got the people who's mixed, who come from a family where one half is probably black and the other half is probably another race. And the children probably choose to identify as black as opposed to their other side because of the so-called one-drop rule. See, what state has the highest percentage of black population? Texas. What, more than 3.9 million black people. Texas is home of the largest black population in the United States. Florida has the second largest black population. And Georgia, the third largest. You know, Florida has all of them Haitians and Jamaicans. So they're combining. And you have the black Hispanic people. So they're combining all of the black people together as one people, I'm assuming. Race and Hispanic origin, female persons, white alone. What are they saying? White alone is 62%. Black and African American alone, 36%. But they don't really have the numbers for this race and Hispanic origin. Female alone. They're including the Hispanic origin with white people. To inflate those numbers. But let me go to this other statistic I was looking at. Now these are the total coronavirus deaths. I showed that already. This is the total number of black population. But let me go here. I must have went here. No. Forget that. On my internet. Hold on, I gotta reset my internet. I'm about to go to a page which breaks down the coronavirus deaths by race per 100,000. And I'm going to disprove that so-called black people are dying the most from the COVID. And if this was a disease that only affected the black people, like Ebola, they wouldn't be mandating anything. There would be no mass mandates whatsoever. They wouldn't even care. But since this is a disease that's primarily affecting the so-called white population, and I'm gonna show you the people in the world who are considered white. All of the people in the world who they consider to be white, Caucasian. And most of the people in the world who are considered white, Caucasian, live in Asia and Africa. Hold on. Let me get that. For one, let me go back to my situation. Yeah, Pritzker. He's mandating that all college students get vaccinated or undergo weekly tests until further notice, indefinitely. Total COVID deaths by race. Let me see this. Okay, total number by race. Percent of deaths. White of deaths and out. So they showing you right here. Right here, they're showing you deaths by race and ethnicity per state. So they saying that in Alabama, whites make up 68% of the deaths, and they only make up 65% of the population. Blacks make up 30% of the deaths, they only make up 27%. So that shows you that they're both are going above their population averages, because blacks make up 30% of the deaths, 27% of the population. Whites make up 68% of the deaths, 65% of the population. Alaska, whites make up 40% of the deaths, 60% of the population. They don't even got a number for the blacks and the deaths, and they make up 2% of the Alaska population. Hispanics make up 31% of the deaths. 5% of the deaths, and 7% of the Alaska population. I don't know how is there a huge amount of Hispanics in Alaska. Well, Alaska is in Canada, unless they're accounting Native Americans as Hispanic. American Indian, or Alaska Native, they make up 33% of the deaths, and 15%. So they make up 2 times the deaths as their population, Alaskan Natives in Alaska. Asians make up 10% of the deaths, and they only 6% of the population in Alaska. California, the whites make up 32% of the population. They make up 30%. No, they make up 32% of the deaths, 36% of the population. Blacks make up, in California, blacks make up 6% of the deaths and only 5% of the population of California. Hispanics make up 48% of the deaths in California and they make up 40% of the population of California. Black population in California is only 5%. That's a genocide. That's a straight genocide. There's more black people in Arkansas than California. The blacks have a 45% of the population of DC. They make up 71% of the deaths. That's nearly double. Hispanics make up 11% of the population of DC. Let me look at Texas. Hispanics make up in Texas 40% of the population. They make up 45% of the deaths. Blacks make up 12% of the population of Texas. 11%. So it's less black people that's dying than it is their population share. Whites make up 41% of the population of Texas, and they're actually outdoing their number share as far as deaths. And you look at these mass populations and you look at this massive percentage, that must mean it's a whole bunch of Hispanics and white people who are dying of COVID-19. When you look at the total population of Texas and California, because you look at California, you got 40% of the Hispanic population is making up 48% of the deaths in California. That's a massive amount of people. Now let me go to this other statistics. When they was talking about per 100,000. By race. Some other one. Let me look at this one. Racial data tracker. We've lost at least 73,000 black lives through COVID to date. Black people count from 50% of COVID deaths where race is known. So that's what. Let me go to this calculator. Go to this calculator. Where's the calculator? Hold on, where's my calculator? Okay, we can type in these numbers. The total amount of deaths is 637,000. 637, and you subtract that by the amount of black people who they say was 73,000. This is a 73,000. 4, 6, 2 equals. So there's another 563,000 people who died that make up white, Asian, Hispanic people. I'm pretty sure the majority of those people who are with this 500,000 are white and Hispanic people who are dead. Hold on. There's another one I wanted to go to. Hold on. Let me go to this other one per 100,000. Per 100,000. Let me go to that one. Hold on. 1 in 330 indigenous Americans have died. 1 in 1,040 Asian Americans has died. 1 in 680 Latin Americans has died. 1 in 550,000. Here you go, per 100,000. These are the numbers I'm trying to get. Now we're gonna do we're gonna do 3 groups per 100,000. Per 100,000. Let me create this spreadsheet. And I'm gonna get the exact numbers of people who's dead. But first I gotta create the spreadsheet. Hold on. Let me do that. Hold on. Let me do that. New file, new spreadsheet. I got a new spreadsheet. Let me create a page for it. Let me create a situation for it. For the spreadsheet. Yeah. So that's the spreadsheet I'm gonna create. Let me hide it though. Numbers of deaths. Race, whites, blacks, Hispanics. Okay, I got the spreadsheet set up. So let me put these numbers in the calculator. Now, let me look at these numbers. So, the white population has 150 deaths per 100,000. What we have to do is we have to get their total population and divide that by 100,000 and multiply that number by 150. So this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna take 250 million. We're going to divide that by 100,000. $2,500. Now we're going to take 2,500 and multiply that number by 150. That's going to give us the exact amount of white people who died of COVID times 150. 150.2 equals, so 375,000 white people died of COVID-19. Let me go to the spreadsheet, put them numbers in there. I need that spreadsheet. Okay. 500. That's how many that died. They 300,000 more than who other black people. The number is 300,000 more than the total number of the black people who died of COVID. That's the spreadsheet. So I put those numbers in right there. Now let me go to the black people. 1 in let's say 179 per 100,000, right? So let me do this. There is approximately 46 million black people. 46 million. So what we gotta do is we gotta divide 46 million divided by 100,000. 46 million. 46 million divided by 100,000. Hold on, that ain't right. And that equals 460. And we multiply 460 by 176.6. 176.6 equals 81,000, which is actually higher than the number than they showed. That's probably because the number of black people is really like 44 million. But let's just put that down there. 81,000 in the database and put that down there. 81,000, which is a less number than 375,000. $81,000. Now let's look at the Hispanics. We don't know the total number of Hispanic people, so we gotta get that. We gotta get those numbers. And then another thing is, when they talk about groups of people called white and Hispanics, that really don't even include one particular country. That includes all of these countries combined. And then you got the people who are outliers, who are mixed and choose to identify as Hispanic as their main, ethnic group. So that's not really talking about just one country of people. That's talking about a lot of countries. South America, Brazil, Latin America, some islands. So let me try to get the total amount of Hispanics in America. I think that also includes some black Hispanics. To get, they say 60 million. Let's say 60 million. 60 million, okay. 60 million. Let me go back to this thing. $60 million and 147 per 100,000. So 60 million divided by 100,000, which is probably what? Come here. Divided by 100,000. Which is probably 600. Now we multiply 600 times 147. 0.3 equals 88,000. So it's actually higher than the amount of black people who died by a small amount, but it's still higher. By what? Nearly 7,000? 88,000. 88. 380. So here are the three groups, the three biggest groups in the United States, and these are the total deaths when you average based on per 100,000. I got the numbers in the spreadsheet. Let me zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom. You're not letting me zoom. Don't forget, you can see it though. Hopefully you can see it. Whites account for 375,000 deaths. Blacks account for about 81,000 deaths. Hispanics account for about 88,000 deaths. Let me add these three numbers together to see if they correspond with the total amount of deaths of COVID. Let me do that. And then we can figure out the percentage of the other groups, like the Asians and the Pacific Islanders, and Alaskan people, Native Americans. We got 375 plus then the white people. And we're gonna add that to the numbers of black people. Hold on. Let me go to this calculator. So that's the numbers of them. The white people, we're going to add the numbers of the black people. Plus 81,000. 236. We're going to add the numbers of the Hispanics. 88,380. That equals 500,000. 500 total number. Let me go to total numbers. Let me just type that in. 545. The total number is about 637,000. Type that in. 637. And minus that by this number, 545, 110. So the Asians, Pacific Islanders, the Native Americans, they all combine for more deaths than the black population. So the black population has the least amount of deaths. And yet if they had the most amount of deaths, it wouldn't be a mass mandate. They wouldn't care really. You see, the white people got the most deaths. Hispanics got the second most. As far as the total numbers, not necessarily talking about per 100,000. And I'm gonna show you another thing before I leave, because these numbers are really inflated. I'm gonna show you something right quick. Hold on. Oh, that's the calculator still up, but forget it. Countries considered Caucasian. I'm going to show you the countries that they consider Caucasian. You can see it right here. The Caucasian race were historically regarded as a biological taxon, which, depending on which of the historical race classifications was being used, usually included ancient and modern populations from all parts of Europe, Western Asia, Central Asia, South Asia, North Africa, Horn of Africa. But we're going to focus on Western Asia, which is the so-called Middle East, North Africa, and the Horn of Africa. And they're going to show that they're considered white people. Watch this. They're talking about the phenotypes and the cranium shapes But let me they say, oh, this Wikipedia, but whatever. Hold on. But I want to show you these maps. I need to get these maps. Here we go. Look at the countries in North Africa who is considered let me take this map off. I mean the calculator off. Can't see nothing. You still can't see it, so let me do this. Right there. That's the map. These are all the countries considered white. They include, these are white countries, right? Mauritania, which is north of Niger. Mauritania. What else? Mauritania. Egypt. Algeria. Libya. Morocco. Morocco is north of Senegal. Tunisia, which is west of Egypt. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Sudan. Sudanese people are considered white. I'm gonna show you some Sudanese people that when they come here, they include them into the white people's census. These are white people, right? I'm gonna show you some white people. These are white people. Again, these are white people. Sudanese people are considered white. North Africans are considered white people. What else? What else? Yeah, this is the North African white people. Now let me go to the West Asian. No, let me go to the Horn of Africa. The Horn of Africa. These are white people. According to the census, right? The Gulf of Eden. Hold on, let me get to the countries though. Ethiopia and Somalia. Who else? Eritrea. These are white people, according to the U.S. Census. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. It covers approximately 2 million square kilometers and is inhabited by roughly 15 million people. Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, Somaliland, and Djibouti, whatever that is. These are considered white people. Somalians, Ethiopians, Eritreans. The Caucasian America consider them white people. Let me type them in. Show you these white people. Ethiopians. These are white people. Ethiopian people. These are white people. That's a white man. This is a white man. This is a Caucasian. These are Caucasians. These are straight up Caucasians. These are considered white people. Ethiopians and Eritreans and Somalians. Now let me look at the other one. The West Asia. West Asia is considered the Middle East. This is West Asia. Now, West Asia, uh, the Middle East, it includes Anatolia, the Arabian Peninsula, Iran, Mesopotamia, Levant, Cyprus, Sinai Peninsula, Transcaucasia. Who else? I guess Iraq, Iran, Syria. Then they got, you know, Iran, Turkey, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and look at I'm gonna type in Yemen people. These are white people too. Yemen. These are white people. These are white people from Yemen. According to the white Caucasians, these are white people. Now, this is just 3 of the regions of the Caucasians. There's what it includes India. It includes, I think, part of China. It includes Pakistan, because it has South Asia, which is India, see? Central Asia, which I think that's Pakistan. And it has Western Asia and Afghanistan and Uzbekistan and all these other Turkmenistan. And it has Western Asia, which is the so-called Middle East. So all of these numbers are inflated. And then the white population in Europe includes all of these countries. It includes Turkey, Greece, Spain. It's not just one country of people. So their numbers are very spread out and diluted. That's why their numbers are so massive. 250 million people. But you're including all of these regions of the people. And plus the ones who are descendants in America who had children here. Germany. All these are so-called white people. Caucasians. So their numbers are very inflated. And I think the students in Illinois should form a resistance. Because they should... You're telling people they gotta be a student to go out there into the world and try to bring about change, but you're gonna be subjected to a dictator like Pritzker, a big nasty immigrant. His grandfather came to America with $6. He want to break you, like Tariq Nasheed call it buck breaking, break your spirit, subject you to some experimental vaccine, when the masses of people who are dying are white people. And you look at the age ranges. So-called Hispanic population has reached new heights. There's no country called Latino or Hispanic. It has just a amalgamation of a bunch of people smashed together who would jump over the border. But that's not like a cohesive group of people like this. The only cohesive group of people are the so-called Black American people. That's one massive group with a unique culture, language, history. That it? Yeah. But people need to try to resist this beast. They trying to make it seem like the main people dying is the black people, but that's the least amount of people. And you look at, let me go back. You look at the numbers based on age. See, this adjusted for age. Other ethnic groups are many times more likely to have died over it than white Americans. Get out of here. They the ones had 75,000 deaths. Look at this right here. 68% of the deaths. But I want to go to the one for age. The one based on age. $30-some million. Here we go. Based on age. Now, the most amount of black people who died was over 85 years old. Then the second number, over 75 years old. Over 65 years old. That's the number that we die from the most anyway, because of the poor health, heart disease, diabetes, all types of cancers. So this old population, but the masses of black people are under 25, under 45. That's our biggest population is under 45. This is like normal for blacks to die in their 70s, 80s, 90s. But the biggest white population is over 60. So them dying at these high rates that's over 60 is more detrimental than so-called black people, because we have a larger, younger population than older population. Every age group. They're just looking at two groups, trying to make it seem like so-called black and Hispanics make up the most deaths. Let me go to the spreadsheet real quick. Let me go to the spreadsheet. Now, when you calculate the amounts of black and Hispanics together as one group, when you combine those numbers together, hold on, let me do it. It's still less than the amount of white people. And I'm gonna show you. When I add in the amount of blacks according to these numbers who died, which is actually less than the number I have, but I'm just gonna use the number I have. 81,000 plus 88,000 for the Hispanics. 88,380. That equals 169,000. That's about half of the white. No, that's less than half of the total number of white people who died, which is 375,000. So both of these people combined has less people who died than white people. But they're trying to make it seem like the main people who's dying is the so-called black people and the Hispanic people, which ain't even really a people. They're just a amalgamation of a bunch of countries of people who came to America with a with a common language, and their common ancestor is Spaniards. The common conquerors are Spaniards. Hold on. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video. But I think these students, because I just signed up for like a carpentry class at one of the city colleges of Chicago, and they trying to tell me either get the vaccine or undergo weekly screening. But I think there should be a third option, and the third option has to be an option that the people force which is no screening, no vaccine, maybe just masks. That's it. But I ain't got time to be going to no DNA screenings. They collecting all this genetic material against you, you know, quantifying and identifying your genetic makeup for research, scientific research purposes. You got to undergo that. What do you call it? Duress in order to get education. You got to suffer all this scrutiny, invasive maneuvers, invasive tyrannical orders and mandates in order to get schooling. This is oppression. But my option was I was just gonna just opt out of going this semester and wait for next semester. But that's still saying that they're causing you fear because of what they did. You was going to avoid a situation because of a mandate and order given by an immigrant governor who contributed nothing to the country. Family came here and got rich like everybody else. They didn't bring wealth. They stole the wealth of this country. But I'm done right now. Don't forget this. Until next time.